Jay and I need the answer to this. So
Yeah.
I agree with you that Tom Brady's voice is shrill. It's a little high. How does he get all these girls? Like Giselle. It didn't bother Giselle or Bridget
Okay.
Moynihan before that, or all the models he dates now. What's going on there? Why don't
Okay.
deep-voiced males like Jay and I, why were we not more successful?
And welcome back, everybody, to an all-American edition of the TV show. I'm Jay Black, fresh from Europe, joined as always by the never sick Rhea Hughes and the sick in the head Angelo Cataldi.
Yeah.
And guys, I gotta jump right into something that I could spend the whole show on this, but I gotta start with you, Rhea, on
Yeah.
this because you and Angelo. I listened to the show last week without me on it. Just consummate broadcasters. I just love listening to you guys. You know how to talk in such a way as to make people interested. I I was on the tarmac from Iceland. I had just landed, and because of the lightning storm, I could not get off of the plane because the guys who work on the ground crew have to leave every time there's a lightning strike. So I was stuck on a plane watching the Eagles delay for the same lightning strikes that were going on. And I watched NBC's, and I don't use this term lightly, abysmal coverage of this. They had to kill an hour, Rhea Hughes, and
Yes.
they were the most boring, useless people on television for that whole hour. These are people that get paid millions of dollars. Explain to me how this happened.
Well, first, I'd like to point out that you were annoyed that the guys couldn't be on the tarmac so you could get off the plane during a lightning strike. So I just want to point that out to our audience. It was noticed.
Wear
Um,
rubber sole sneakers and get me off the plane. Come on.
so Ange and I, Ange, I don't know if you remember it because it was a long time ago. In 2013, during the Super Bowl, the lights went out. I believe it was the Ravens and the 49ers. They lost. They had to go to the sideline reporter, Steve Tasker or Trasker. And it was mayhem. It was 34 or 35 minutes they were out, and they didn't know what to do. Because here's the problem, Jay. This is what these broadcasts do. They spend hours and hours and hours prepping for just the game.
Right.
They have no second gear. James Seltzer, our producer, actually made a really funny comment that he sent a text, Angelo, to Greg Murphy. What does Greg Murphy do when there's a rain delay? Greg Murphy runs a show, sometimes for 2 hours.
Right.
And so you have to have another gear to go to. I guarantee you there are meetings now going on, like, because when this happens, they know now they gotta call games and get people safe. They're just not prepared, which is astonishing because you've got so many people there who are good at what they do. And here's one thing I would recommend. A million years ago, Ange, I was the sideline reporter for the Soul, the AFL, I think it was. And they said to me, I was the sideline reporter, and they said, listen, during games, you're going to talk to the coach and the players. And I'm like, in game? And I was scared. And after like the first two, that's what they told their people. You're going to talk to the sideline reporter. And it was awesome. That a quarterback would come right off, and I'd be like, hey, tell me what happened on that play. Like, if you know you're going to be out for like an hour, talk to the players, talk to the coaches,
Yeah.
fill your time that way.
It's good. Here's the thing that's amazing to me. All right, football is built around game planning. So by mid-afternoon on Thursday, people knew there was a storm coming, a major glop of these clouds pouring in, and it was going to be bad. And at that point, I'm imagining that NBC, which had the presence of mind to hire Chris Collinsworth, so they must be brilliant. They went, all right, game plan if there's a delay. And they got together, they went, here's what we'll do. We'll use as our point man, a man widely recognized as the most boring in the history of sports, Jason Garrett.
Yeah.
Jason Garrett, for not one moment in his broadcast career, has been interesting. None. Zero. And they went, all right, now who else can we pull with him? I know who. A total fraud. Chris Sims. Chris Sims, who
Yes.
basically specializes in stupid hot takes like Jalen Hurts is not very good, right?
Yep.
Here, let's get him in there because he's so good off the cuff. He has so many interesting insights. And how about Devin McCourty, right? Which the world went, who?
Who?
Who the hell is he? And to her credit, Maria Taylor was
She's
there.
good. I like
She
her.
did what she could,
Yeah.
but she was dealt a hand of nothing, and and it was a debacle. It was an indictment. Do you understand these things get ratings? 30 million normally watch. Now less watch because of the delay. They actually lost some viewers with that.
It was going to be the highest rated show, I
Yeah.
believe, of all time.
But Rhea, once you watch Jason Garrett for an hour, you didn't even want to see the game anymore.
Can I
Yeah, go
Can I
ahead.
give a recommendation for what I did? Because,
Yep.
I had to wake up at 2:15. I began to doze off. So I turned to my son and I said, wake me up when they come back to the game. And he did his job. I rewatched it the next day to see what happened.
Right.
I took a good 40-minute nap.
Yeah.
Well,
you know what? When napping is the better alternative to
Yeah,
a
it was.
multi-million-dollar broadcast,
Yes.
you have messed up. Angelo,
And Jay, hold on. I just want to say something because you made me think. You know how they outlawed waterboarding? You
Yes.
can't torture people to
Can't
get
do
them
that.
to speak.
Yes.
How about we take somebody we want to interrogate, stick them on a plane, lock them into the plane, indefinite time period, and have the voice of Jason Garrett put across the PA and see how long before he breaks.
Yeah.
Because you would have broken. You
I would
would
have
have
broken
broken.
8 minutes in. You imagine being next to Chris Collinsworth on a long international flight? Oh, I couldn't imagine it.
I'd root for a crash.
Oh, Angelo.
I'm sorry. Sorry, too
Angelo,
far.
let's move to this particular broadcast from this broadcast to the overall state of the NFL, because I know one of your favorite conversations to have is to sort of look at who's broadcasting the games. But also, this weekend saw the ignominious debut of the first commercials on what we all consider the greatest invention in sports history, the NFL Red Zone. So, talk to me a little bit about how the NFL is doing with their big budget guys like Tony Romo and Tom Brady, and whether or not there's anything in this world that can last. Nothing gold can stay, Angelo. Everything will eventually be wrung for every last penny, right?
The best broadcaster employed by the National Football League is a guy named Scott Hansen, who runs the Red Zone channel.
Yes.
And I know what happened last week. All right. Scott Hansen heard that they were going to start sneaking ads into it, and he made it public. Now, here's what happened. I think they backed off, right? They ended up, there was never a period where you completely lost the football action for the 7 hours, all right? They had a split screen, which they had done before. I believe he basically shamed them into backing off that. All right. So to say that the Red Zone channel was still fantastic, unbelievably great. All right. Brady and Romo are not good, but they're actually better than Collingsworth, who NBC thinks we like because they don't pay attention to any surveys that show that people would rather hear silence than Chris Collingsworth. The problem is they are infatuated with names. Do you understand? Tony Romo, Tom Brady. The guy on the air analyzing games that's doing the best job, and I hear him every week on the Red Zone channel, is Rhea's co-host, Ross Tucker. Ross, Rhea, tell him, how does a guy like him get to the top ranks when he was just a player? He wasn't a star.
Well, that's the problem. And, he did the game last weekend with Tom McCarthy, who, by the way, people might not know, is a phenomenal football play-by-play guy.
Great.
He's really, really good. So it was fun to listen to the two of them. Here's what I will say. The Red Zone thing, it wasn't a problem. What I did was I had the Red Zone on my laptop, and I had the Washington Giants game because NFC East, I was doing a little scouting. I will say this. I think Brady improved in the offseason. I will give him, I thought he used the telestrator a little bit better. He worked in a little humor. He goes, well, there's no spitting going on here, so that's an improvement.
All right.
I thought he picked out some stuff, some penalties that I didn't notice and that other people didn't notice. I thought he improved. The problem with Tom Brady is his voice.
Yeah,
That will
it's
never
true.
change, and
Yeah.
his voice is just a little high. Romo, I don't like Romo at all, but Romo certainly toned things down this offseason. I could tell it. There wasn't the yelling and the, the stuff he used to do before. But I still don't think he's very good. But I definitely do. I will say, I think Tom Brady, because listen, he worked to make himself from a 6th-round pick to,
Hmm.
probably the greatest quarterback in the
Yeah.
history of NFL, if you don't include the cheating. I always have to throw that in there. But I believe he worked on it in the offseason, and I could see incremental progress in him
All
as a
right.
The
broadcaster.
I
problem
have to
with
ask you a
Brady,
question. I got to ask you a question here, Rhea, because Jay and I need the answer to this.
Yeah.
So I agree with you that Tom Brady's voice is shrill. It's a little high. How does he get all these girls? Like Giselle. It didn't bother Giselle or Bridget
Okay.
Moynihan before that, or all the models he dates now. What's going on there? Why don't
Okay.
deep-voiced males like Jay and I, why were we not more successful?
There's two reasons.
Okay.
One is the cash. The other thing is he is a good-looking guy, Angelo, and he's a quarterback. The quarterbacks always get the good-looking girls.
yeah, Angela's sitting here. How does a model, good-looking starting quarterback with 7 Super Bowl rings and $300 million get women? I just don't get it.
Well, I
What
don't
would
know.
be
It
the
seems
secret?
it's
Columbia's knocking. They want their masters back.
All right, so I did a little game for you guys
Yes.
because the Emmys are coming up this coming Sunday, hosted by my old opening act. Uh,
wow.
yeah, it's
Nate Bargatze.
Nate Bargatze. He used to open for me
Wow.
on colleges, and now
Wow.
I'm hosting this podcast. He's hosting the Emmys. It worked out great for
Hey,
both of us.
with this podcast.
Yeah. So he's hosting that, and I compiled the list of the top 250 IMDb user-rated shows and collated that against the ones that have never won an Emmy. So I eliminated like all the anime shows and stuff like that. There's only one science fiction on here, only one animated show, and all but one come from the last 20 years since the 2000s. So with that being said, I'm going to open the floor. Like last time, I'll give you 3 guesses before revealing them. Rhea, what do you got? Greatest shows that have never won an Emmy.
Okay. I don't really like pay attention to the Emmys, although will watch this year because I do love Nate Bargatze. Slow Horses?
Slow Horses not on the list, Rhea. That doesn't
Wow.
mean that they've won one. It just means that they're not on the top 250
Wait,
IMDb.
Slow Horses is not on the top 250?
Well, they may have won an Emmy. I don't
Okay.
know.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'd
Gotcha.
have to look
Gotcha.
that up. All right, Angela, what do you
Uh,
got? You got a
I'm
guess?
just gonna you didn't give us any hints. It's really hard to pull them out of
Hard.
the air.
All right.
I'm
Well,
gonna
hold
say
on. I'll give you a hint. One of them is actually no. 2 of them are spin-offs.
ugh, I don't like spin. You
Oh,
said
Better
there was
Call
one
Saul?
science fiction. I'm gonna say X-Files.
Incorrect. The
Oh,
X-Files one. Although Rhea, you are correct. Better Call Saul is on that list.
oh, good one.
One of the
Oh,
greatest shows I think of the last 10 years. How that never won an Emmy is beyond me. Angela, when you're saying science fiction, try a little bit from the 60s. Go back.
Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone won an Emmy. It's Star Trek,
Star Trek.
the original
I
Star
hate
Trek.
Star Trek.
Oh,
But
it's
it never won an
terrible.
Emmy. It was a
Oh,
great show.
oh.
Oh,
You have a guess. One of them is a spin-off comedy. I'll tell you that much.
You know, comedy.
spin off. Frasier?
No, Frasier won like a million Emmys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I give us the most egregious
Okay,
the
the
whole.
most.
Give us a couple that you would not believe because we can't guess those.
Okay,
We're not
all right.
that bright.
Here we go. The most egregious one. Knock you on your feet here, Angelo. The Wire.
The Wire never won anything.
never won
Wow.
an Emmy.
Ah,
Not for acting, not for writing, not for nothing. How that is possible in this
it's
world
not possible.
is
Ah,
beyond me. So we got
Curious,
Better
Jay,
Call
like,
Saul.
Do you know what it was going up against in its top years? I mean, I don't know if that's
I
on
mean, it would
there.
have been The Sopranos, right? I mean, that's
Oh, okay.
yeah. I mean,
That
they
makes
were
sense.
on, but
Come on.
still, you would think a writing Emmy or
Yeah.
something would get through.
Yeah.
Another one that I find unbelievable is Parks and Rec, which
Yeah,
ran for a
good
number
show.
of years. Great show. Amy Poehler couldn't
I
Nothing.
didn't
get it.
ever watch it until Clark binged it this summer. And I have to say, I'd be sitting at the counter, he'd be watching it, and I would find myself 3 episodes in.
Yeah,
It's a great show.
there's a
It
lot of
is.
people that like Parks and Rec better than they like The Office, believe it or not.
Yeah,
I do. I'm
Yeah.
one of
I
them.
do.
Star Trek we mentioned. This one I can kind of understand why it never got an Emmy, but it's been on for over 20 years. So you would have thought like Danny DeVito or somebody would have gotten a supporting Emmy, but It's Always Sunny never
Wow.
picked up
Nothing.
an Emmy.
That is such a good show
Yeah.
that no one bothers to acknowledge. It's so good. It just
It's
finished its 17th season.
Wow.
right. And the Bears winning for comedy, and It's
Oh,
Always Sunny sitting
oh,
right there. And the
oh.
last two, one of them you won't care about. That's BoJack Horseman, which
Yeah, I don't care about it at
yeah.
all.
And the other
Yeah,
one is Community, which is a Dan
Never
Harmon
saw it.
yeah,
show.
it's okay.
I thought it was great. I was a big
Right.
fan of Community.
Jay,
But
let
those
me
are
lead you. I'm going to give you a segue right here, okay? If you would like to see the Emmys Sunday night, they're on at 8 o'clock on CBS, also available on Paramount Plus.
oh, Paramount
Paramount
Plus.
Plus.
Let me talk to you a second before we move on. Paramount Plus is driving me crazy, and this is the same is true of every single cable and streamer out there. I see an article, Angelo Cataldi, that says, hey, Paramount Plus, you can now buy the ad-free version for $60 for the year. And I go, fantastic. And I go to buy it. But guess what? It isn't for me because I'm already a subscriber. So forget the people that have been paying you for the last 3 years. This is only for new subscribers. Now, you can delete your account and go get a new account. But here's what I don't understand and what I wish somebody would explain to me. In this world where the first thing you're trying to do is eliminate churn and get people to not leave your system, why would you give the best deals to the new customers? I've been there for almost the start of Paramount Plus. You can't throw me the coupon as well. It makes 0 sense to me. And I don't understand. If somebody is listening in marketing, explain this to me. Why do the new people get it and the people who are loyal get nothing? Angelo and Rhea, it makes no sense.
So here's the way I look at it. And Angelo knows, I have my certain places I go to. Like Angelo Scanicchio's. You love Scanicchio's. I'm taking my mom. My mom's coming into town this weekend. So I go to certain places all the time. And you want to know what's happens when I go to certain places all the time? They throw an app down on the table. Or
Yeah.
when Angelo comes in, they throw down 3 apps because they're, he's Angelo. But like certain places I go to, they know I'm a returning customer. I tip well. I'm not a horrible customer. So like they take care of me. Like, why is that not in business? I mean, I got rid of an insurance company, an auto insurance company I'd been with for 25 years because same thing, I wasn't getting the discounts. I went with another one. They didn't know me from Adam. Boom, I got every single discount in the world.
Right.
It doesn't, for business sense, when you are a loyal customer and you are rewarded, you are more than likely to stay with that company.
100%. And Paramount, if you threw me some mozzarella sticks every once in a while, I would be more likely to stay with you. Now, Angela, I'm going to do you a segue.
No, well, hold on a minute. No, I'm going to preside it for you again here. If you just give me a second. This is going to get emotional for a second, all right? But I gotta just say this. Of all the qualities that I look for in people, the number one quality is loyalty.
Yeah.
And that woman over there, Rhea used, that is, in my 50-year career in the media, the most loyal person I ever worked with. To this day, years later, I'm not even working anymore. She's still very loyal. Loyalty matters. It's one of the greatest qualities we could show. And when a corporation, which doesn't acknowledge it, if a corporation can't see the value of that, why do I want to even be a part of what they're doing? So if Paramount Pro, if they ever have a dip in their, the quality of what they're presenting, I'm out. Because they have now said to me, they don't give a damn about me. They're just trying to find a new revenue source. And it is a source that makes fun, that ridicules the quality of loyalty. Shame on them.
100%.
Now, Jay, speaking of loyalty, segue.
Yes. Speaking
Uh,
of loyalty, I can think of just a few people, a handful of people
right.
that have founded businesses that build up the kind of loyalty that you're talking about, Angelo. Can you
Yeah.
give me one off the top
Yeah.
of your head?
And when you're talking about loyalty, you can't do better than either Rhea Hughes or Steven Singer. All right. Steven Singer, the last 25 years I was at WIP, never for a second moved away from our station, spent less on our station, didn't acknowledge or be a part of what we were doing on our station. It was a loyalty because he understood that over time it would pay greater and greater dividends. And it did. You know why? Because we got his message out. And his message is honesty and fairness. When you buy a piece of jewelry and you don't know what it really is about, you have to rely on the guy who's selling it to you. And that is Steven Singer. And that is why I will always be loyal to Steven, because Steven is always loyal to us and to his customers.
And what's great about Steven is he's been doing it so long. Like I've passed this on to Clark now. Clark has an account. Got something for the old girlfriend. She's not around anymore. He's got the new girlfriend. He's going to homecoming. I said to him, hey, instead of a corsage, which you're going to spend a lot on, why don't you get her a bracelet? Just saying. But I've taken my son there. And what I did was when I took my son there, I stepped back and I let them deal with them. And it was amazing to watch that it was just like they treated him like, even though when he went in there at the time, he was 15, like he was just a customer walking in, not a kid, not somebody whose mom was standing in the corner. He just treats everybody absolutely the same. And you will love the service you get there. And once you become a customer, you will become a customer for life.
And Clark is successful with women the way he is because he also has a deeper voice than Tom Brady. Other corner of 8th and Walnut. I hate stevensinger.com. He's the best.
Absolutely. You can go click on the button right now in your little podcast app. Buy some jewelry. Don't download jewelry. You can't. That's a scam. Buy some jewelry and they'll send it to you. Rhea, what do you got for us this week on our British segment?
So I have the Marlow Murder Club, and people know that I've reviewed this before. Season 1, season 2 is out, and I love season 1. So basically, what it's about, it's a trio of amateur detectives in the city of Marlow. Again, the scenery, the town of Marlow is as beautiful as the show it is. I mean, it's just you want to go visit there. Judith, who's the crossword writer, you got Susie the dog walker, and Bex, who's the vicar's wife. So it's a 4-episode series. 2 episodes deal with one crime, the next 2 deal with a separate crime. And it's the first one of the first 2 episodes, it's like a classic Agatha Christie novel. It's a murder in a locked room, which always fascinates me how they're going to do that. I've seen these a million times. This was really interesting. But what's fun about it is it's, again, a cozy mystery, but it's a cozy English mystery done at the highest level. The actors are great. There's a scene, and it also has some humor. It's what I like about it. There's a scene where a suspect is getting away on a bike. So these 3 women commandeer one of those, those scooters, the mobility scooters that you see in like the Acme for like older people. And they're hanging off it, chasing after him down the road at a speed of about 10 miles an hour. It's an absolute riot, but it's a fun mystery. The second mystery deals with something interesting, where there's a cul-de-sac neighborhood that all of the people in it have sold out to the developer who's going to knock all them down except for 2. Interesting, in England, they call cul-de-sacs a close, which CLOSE, which I found interesting. And it deals with that. It's pretty cool. I have to wait a couple days for the last episode. They left it on a great cliffhanger. So I'm super excited. So it's Marlow Murder Club, 4 episodes on PBS. It's a lot of fun.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Rhea. And, Marlowe is the name of my 4th grader's ex-boyfriend, quote unquote. So we might
Oh,
have,
4th grader. They're starting early.
oh yeah, it might be a little hard for us to watch. Angela, what do you got for us this week?
Well, I just want to update you on a couple of things. One is Dexter Resurrection ended its first season and it landed it. It was
Wow.
it was 10 brilliant episodes. tense, exciting. My wife is totally into it. It's just it was there was so many great performances. Uma Thurman, Peter Dinklage, you name a big name, he was in this season, and it's great. It has not officially been renewed yet, and people are concerned because it is owned by CBS, Paramount, and Paramount is unpredictable these
Well, I
days.
guess we're going to have to give them $120 so they can afford them.
You know, Rhea, I'll be honest with you. I would give him $120. That's how good it was. But my pick this week is on Hulu. And I guess it's because I have a little bit of personal connection to it. It's called The Twisted Tale of Amanda Knox. And it's a docudrama. And I just got to tell you, it is Grace Van Patten plays Amanda Knox. And my connection is years ago, in our studio visiting one day was a guy named Ted Simon, who happened to be her American attorney, he represents Amanda Knox, and he's right here in Philadelphia. And he gave me a lot of background on it. What's great about this story is it was not only executive produced by Amanda Knox, so she is there to see that her story is being told. Her partner in the executive production is Monica Lewinsky.
Wow.
Oh,
Two people who felt victimized by media coverage, a generation ago or 15 years ago. And it's a really good story because Grace Van Patten is phenomenal in it as Amanda Knox. It is I actually got so angry at one point. I told my wife Gail that I was going to abdicate from my Italian heritage because the Italian prosecutor and the Italian police department, the people there, and I can't remember the name of the city, Pergola or something like that. Anyway, they all are unbelievably corrupt, won't admit their mistakes, bamboozle this poor girl into giving a confession that they knew was fake, and they just wouldn't give it up. And it's frustrating. That's the one thing about these kind of stories. They're frustrating, but it's terrific. And all I can tell you is you will hate lawyers even more. I know you hate them now, but you'll hate them even more after you see the Twisted Tale of Amanda
but you
Knox.
don't hate the lawyer who got her out.
No, that lawyer is
See?
Ted Simon
There you
and his
go.
partners who helped to do it. And her lawyers in Italy weren't great either. I'll be honest.
No.
But that
Yeah.
Ted didn't have the ability to do it there because he didn't have the licensing for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, you will enjoy it. It's a really good docudrama, and it's a performance by Grace Van Patten that should be acknowledged next year in the Emmys. It's that good.
And I love the redemption story of Monica Lewinsky in the last
Yeah. Isn't
30
it
years.
amazing?
She has become such a class act. I mean, she was probably always a class act, but
Right.
in the last couple of years, she is just a force unto herself for politics and for victims reclaiming their
The
power.
balance of power in what she dealt with was so outrageous,
Right.
and that he
Yep.
skated on it has always been a disgrace.
And the 90s, they thought that they could comment on her weight. They thought they could comment on her looks and everything else. I mean, things that wouldn't happen now, at least in public, happened. It was so sophomoric and frat-like in the time. It was terrible. I have a quick recommendation, Angelo. I texted this to you. If you are a book fan, there's a great book. It's been out for a little bit, but I read it while I was in Iceland called It's All About Me, the Mel Brooks autobiography. If you're interested in how movies used to get made in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, the segments in the middle of the book will make you long for a time when movies were made by professionals who cared about things, and when you could go into the president of Fox and say, I'm doing a black and white throwback movie about young Frankenstein, and the president of Fox would go, we'll take a risk. What's the worst that could happen? Doesn't happen nowadays.
No.
It made me long for those days.
What's the name of the book again?
It's All About Me, the Mel Brooks.
Oh, I thought that was the name of Angelo's book.
All right. Then no, my book is loud, and that's rude. That was, I take back all this stuff I said earlier about loyalty. Clearly, I was wrong.
The knife got twisted.
She bailed on me.
Yeah.
All right, let me go through what we got here. The NFL is available on virtually every network and every streamer in the world. Check the listings. All right. I've always wanted to say that. If you want to see the Emmys, they're on CBS and Paramount Plus. You could do that. Rhea, say the Marlow Murder Club,
Marlow Murder Club on PBS.
PBS. That Rhea highly recommends that. Dexter is available. Dexter Resurrection is available on Paramount Plus. Twisted Tale of Amanda Knox is on Hulu. And if you are a reader out there, it's all about me. Check it out. It's the great Mel Brooks.
Great book, but if you're going to buy any one book this week, it should be that man right there's book. Angelo Cataldi's
Too late. Too late now. You lost me. Both of you lost me. I'm done.
Amazon.com, audible.com, and at his website, angelocataldi.com. You can check out Rhea Hughes right there every morning on the WIP YouTube channel. Anywhere in the country, listen to them talk about Philadelphia sports. And if you are in the Point Pleasant area of New Jersey, I just got booked last minute to fill in on a Thursday night. That's September 18th. Come out to see me. Go to UncleVinny'sComedyClub.com for tickets. And special thanks to our sponsor, Steven Singer, and to our producer, Jared Clapper. Go check out all their great stuff. And we'll be back next week with more great TV talk.